The Convectrix was never really a fan favorite. I mean, why would it be? It was never really all that powerful, and it was also slightly annoying to use. Most players simply dreaded the thought of getting a Convectrix Riven. But I'm gonna make this very simple. It went from one of the worst to one of the best. Wanna find out why? Hey guys, welcome back. As always, my name is Leyzar, and today we're gonna be diving deeper into this primary weapon. As per the usual, I'm gonna have a cheap build, something affordable that most tenors should be able to build, but of course we also have the quote-unquote endgame set up with a crazy Riven. That said though, please bear in mind that my builds and guides usually take a new player friendly approach. I like to take my time and explain whatever I feel is necessary for newer players. So in case you're a vet and you already know most of this stuff, please bear with me. And with that out of the way, let's jump into the Convectrix. This video is brought to you by me and all the fantastic people that choose to support the content. Thank you guys so much. Want to get access to fantastic perks such as loyalty badges, custom wallpapers, and the option to vote on what I work on next? That's how this review happened, by the way. Check the link in the cards right now or click on the join button, which is next to the subscription button. You can support the channel via Patreon, YouTube membership, or even Twitch subs. Links are in the description down below. Let's begin by checking out how the weapon handles without any mods equipped. And for that, just a couple of free shots. The Convectrix is a beam shotgun, my friends, and this one has a limited range of 30 meters. That is 3-0. Take a look at the range, 25, 26, 20 mamas. There you go, 30 meters till the target, and I'm still able to damage it down. So that's absolutely fantastic when it comes to usability. Not only that, it also comes with a little bit of punch through. But the problem with the Convectrix, the one thing that I always took offense to, the fire mode is a little bit kooky, the primary. Take a look at this. There are two beams which need to meet in the middle, and then you're gonna be doing some damage. I mean, don't get me wrong, it takes about a second and a half, but it's still a little bit on the annoying side. Speaking about annoying, this one also has a secondary fire mode as well, and let me show you how this one works. Can you see that? The beams do this scissor motion, like clapping hands motion in the center. For whatever reason, this can be used, I guess, as a little bit of AoE when you're in a corridor or something of the sort, but honestly, I never really got around to actually liking this fire mode. But there you go, you have this gimmick on the Convectrix. Also, this being a beam weapon, that means we're going to be getting 2 damage ticks per each and every single ammo. That means 2 sources of potentially applying a status effect. Speaking of which, I want you to have a look at what this weapon can do to a corrupted heavy gun level 120. Unmodded, alright? This is like no mods on. I'm gonna drop the boom on him. I got 10 slash, 15 slash, 20 slash, 27 slash, 35 slash. There he goes. Hey, mama. You can actually get over like 35, 40 slashes on a corrupted heavy gun level 120. And that is pretty dangerous. That is the danger zone right there. This weapon is extremely efficient at applying status effects, as I will demonstrate. Now let's have a closer look at stats to see exactly what we're dealing with. Mod capacity 60 out of 60, and if yours comes with only 30 out of 30, jump into actions, plug in that auto king catalyst, and yes, it's totally worth it doing in 2020 modding the Convectrix. It's one of the most powerful single target weapons in Warframe right now. I'm talking about primaries, of course. Now, you can pay 20 plat to have one installed. You can get one from Grindwave, Grindwave, and you can also get a blueprint from the daily sortie. Some events in Warframe also feature an auto king catalyst as a possible or guaranteed reward. Mine has 6 Forma. Now, for the weapon build I'm recommending you can get away with 3 depending you have a Riven, you got prime mods, all of that good stuff. You might have to go to 4. And you see this slot right here is still locked. It's not really worth, not on this weapon, to unlock the XL slot. It costs 20 plat. Or you can expand an adapter. You can spend an adapter or simply farm what you need to make it. You could make an argument for vigilante supplies, but to be honest, you get the same critical chance bonus from your Sentinel's weapon, this being a primary weapon, and that 20% is not an actual 20%, that's a bug of the simulacrum, okay? It's actually 5% per mod. And if you have ammo issues, you can always drop a pad. Other than that, nah. Nothing really, so you can forget about this one if you want to make your build just a little bit cheaper. The accuracy on this one is going to be 50. It's a pinpoint accurate weapon, and you can use Vicious in the spread. Let me show you Vicious in the spread. Multi-shot doesn't really affect it that much, but let's put on Hell's Chamber and Vigilante armaments so you can see what happens to the beams. You see that? It just jiggles a little. Jiggly, jiggly, jiggly. And sometimes it jiggles more. See that? That's more jiggle. more jiggle, and sometimes it jiggles less, but the point is it's still a pinpoint accurate weapon, no matter the amount of jiggle. Let me know in the comment section down below if you prefer more or less jiggle. Critical chance, 16% as a base, a little bit on the low side, but it's still worth modding for crit because you got that critical multiplier of 2.4x, which is above average. Fire rate of 12, which is solid, definitely solid. A magazine of 70, which is awesome. Multi-shot of 2 because 2 beams, yeah. Okay. Noise alarming, the punch through of 0.6 seconds, 0.6 meters, which is enough to go through the Grenier shield, dude. Okay, 0.6 is not a lot, but it's definitely better than nothing, and you can add further on top of the punch through. Reload of 2 seconds, which from my point of view is usable. Like, if all weapons had a 2.0 as a standard, as a default, I would be happy with it. Lower than that is absolutely fantastic, though. Riven disposition, 5 out of 5, my friends, because not a lot of players play with the Convectrix. It's still an unknown powerhouse at this point. The status chance changes of 2020 at the start of the year actually propelled the Convectrix to new heights, but nobody really paid attention to it because it's a Convectrix. And also efficient beams from Nightwave season, I forgot, we'll talk about that later. Status per projectile, 45%. Beautiful, beautiful. Trigger held, and the damage is impact, puncture, slash, but the highest amount is gonna be slash, which is absolutely outstanding. And of course, the total damage is 24 because there's 2 beams, you get it times 2. You get how that one works. So that's why the weapon was applying that many slash procs on modded. And speaking about modded, let's have a look at the standard build, shall we? Hey, what gives? There's only 2 mods, Lazar, Point Blank and Hell's Chamber. Yeah, because basically these are the only 2 mandatory mods on this weapon. The rest, well, sky's the limit for the most part. But let's try a little bit of a conservative approach, okay? Let's go meta. I know I got a slasher on my hands from unmodded, right? So what I can do is go viral. That makes sense. The 260-60 viral mods, Frigid Blast and Toxic Barrage for shotguns. Now I got a 99% status chance per projectile, of course, per projectile. But proc priority number 1 is gonna be viral. What else? Critical chance and critical damage. Again, they're not mandatory. You can go with full status on the weapon, but we'll talk more about that just a tad later. Critical chance with not Blunderbuss. Can we forget about Blunderbuss? Can you just, like, go laser sight? Honestly, it's a lot more. It's a lot more crit chances. It's 120% instead of 90. It's only on headshot while aiming. Yes, it's a bit more convoluted. If you don't feel comfortable with laser sight, sure, go with Blunderbuss, but give it a try. If you don't have it, it used to be from the Acolyte event. I think it now drops from Deimos bounties, and if it doesn't, 5 plat from the trade chat or something along those lines. Check Warframe market. Ravage, 60% critical damage. And I know you're gonna say Prime Ravage, dude, a lot better. Yes, but first, normal mods, and then Prime mods. Normally, I would recommend efficient beams on this weapon. But the problem with efficient beams is that you get it from, hold on, let me check. I have a cheat sheet here. Nightwave efficient beams could be obtained by reaching rank 7 with Nightwave during Season 2. And I believe now we got Season 3. First season was the Wolf Boy, second season was the Arlo's Adventure or Quest or something like that. And third one is Glass Dude, right? So you can't get this one right now unless you want to buy it from the trade chat. I'm not entirely sure if it's transmutable. Probably not, right? So you can buy it from the trade chat. It's a huge plus on the weapon if you can get efficient beams. But let's work under the assumption that you don't have efficient beams, right? Let's make a cheapo build, shall we? If you put on crit on the weapon, Laser, how much crit do you get? Well, you're gonna be going to roughly 40-ish% with laser sight up, right? So you might make the argument for 100 munitions. And initially we're going to go with 100 munitions, but we're going to take it off later. And finally, the last slot, there's a lot of options here. I'm just going to highlight a couple. Blaze, no. Not Blaze because it adds heat to the weapon. You don't want more procs to take away from your slash procs. And I'll highlight exactly what I mean just a tad later. Efficient beams, of course, if you have it. If not, you can go with simply more damage. And more damage with Vicious Spread, like we showcased earlier. This is a simple, clear-cut option. It's a very smart idea. Another good idea would be fire rate. Shotgun spaz, definitely 90% fire rate. More status chance, also a very good idea. And when it comes to status chance, you have several options. The simple way is with Shotgun Savvy. Right, you can definitely go with Shotgun Savvy and you get yourself 90% more stat. Look at that, 140% per beam, right? And speaking of which, if you want to go overboard with status chance, and I don't really recommend it, but you can go Nano Applicator, like that. Motor setup, like that, renounce crit entirely, and like this, with those two buff up, you're going to... And of course, you're not gonna need 100 munitions anymore. You can put on more multi-shot, for example, with Vigilante armaments. But like this, you would go to almost 300% status per projectile. That is absolutely insane. You can take that route. It's not optimal. Better go like so. Did I say fire rate? I did say fire rate. When it comes to status chance, I never really was a fan of nano applicator and moto setup simply because of the gameplay limitations these mod imply. Okay, so on ability cast. It really depends on what Warframe you're going to be using. You can even use the operator to trigger this one, by the way. And moto setup after landing from a double jump. And only for 4 seconds. Could I have at least 10 seconds on this one? Pretty please? No, maybe. You can also go with another 60-60. But again, the point is not to take any procs away from Slash with a build such as this. And I think that's pretty much it for options. Of course, you can always increase the critical chance with Blunderbuss as well if you're not happy with the crit. So you can go like so. I enjoy going with a little bit of more raw damage. I don't like Blunderbuss. I want the prime version, and D refuses to give us one. So there's that. Vicious spread, if I can find it, that is. Yeah, I can't see this. This is a bug in Warframe. I can't find my modded vicious spread. What I gotta do is go back, and now I'm gonna be able to find it. Hooray, Warframe. There you go. This will be a basic setup. Again, with Vicious Spread being your options locked, and you'll see a tad later that even Hunter Munitions is optional. Let's see performance, okay? This is a basic build, level 120, Corrupted Heavy Goons as before. And to showcase the power of the beams, I'm just gonna do this, drop the boom on them like that. Take a look at that. Insane. Oh yeah, that one is there as well because of the punch rule. Take a look at how fast I build those viral procs. It's almost instant to 10. Look at that, it absolutely burns through high-level targets in just a couple of ammo. I can stop firing after I buzzed it a little bit, and then, look at that was like, what, a couple of seconds? 9 slashes, 7 virals, super quick, and a lot of procs on my target. And I can build slash on this like nobody's business. And there's a way actually to get even more slash on the target, believe it or not, with lower 60-60 mods. Let's talk about that for a second. First of all, you don't really need 100 munitions. Honestly, you don't need it. You're gonna stack slash like nobody's business. You can renounce this one and go for something else. For example, how about that fire rate? How about more status chance? And you can play without 100 munitions because the critical chance isn't really all that super high. You are getting crits from it, but we can get even more crits if we renounce the 260-60 max mods. Let me show you what I mean. You can go like so. Normal Frigid Blast and normal Toxic Barrage. Now, some of you veterans I'm sure you're familiar with this method. Essentially what I'm doing right now is renouncing some status chance, yes, but I'm making slash proc priority number 1. And believe it or not, if you were to do the math, you're actually gonna be getting more slashes like this because your viral is gonna be capped out instantly anyway. Almost like in a second or two. And in the last lot, well, if I'm not gonna go for Hunter Mumu, right? I can go for something like more status chance. I can go for something like fire rate, for example. I don't think the fire rate is all that needed on this weapon from my point of view. So you can go with even more status with something like shotgun savvy. Of course, if you want the biggest DPS increase, you're gonna go with fire rate. But in the interest of saving some ammo or ammo economy, you can go like so. You know what? I'll just show you with that and the other one as well. Simpler. Yes, a lot simpler. Take a look. Did you see the value of the slashes? It's insane, man. It's absolutely bloody insane. Take a look at all the procs on the target. There's 54 slashes on that bad boy. Look at that. I just touch it. And it dies. 8 viral procs, 25 slashes. And see how fast I get the full 10 viral procs. You can't go beyond 10, by the way. Okay, that's it. You cannot go beyond 10 viral procs, unfortunately. Look. If I was to keep firing at a target, it simply gets melted down. So I would recommend, I think it's the first time I actually do this, drop the fully maxed out 60-60 mods and go for rank 0s. That's what I would do on the Convectrix. And thank you to Zach for giving me the tip. Cheers, buddy. Appreciate it. Very good like this. More fire rate on the weapon? Absolutely. Why not? What's the issue? You see a trend here. Even if I was to take off Vicious Spread and just keep these 6 mods on the weapon would still be a bloody monster. Even like so. So again, the sky's the limit, and what's most important from my point of view, you have some actual build diversity. You're not forced into one single path necessarily. Now, granted, all of the builds kind of do the same thing, but in different ways. You get it? You get it? Anyway, shotgun spaz with 90% fire rate. Let's check Valkyr just to make sure we didn't cheat with anything like Warframe buffs and all that good stuff. See, empty build. One more time, corrupted heavy goons, and this time we're gonna be using a little bit of fire. Drop the boom. Look at that. Absolutely bloody annihilated. No prime mods, my friends. No prime mods whatsoever here. There's no Riven, nothing of the sort. And keep in mind, we can still leverage that 5 out of 5 Riven disposition. You know what that means? We can make this one go absolutely nuclear, and I'm so happy that the Convectrix performs so well. From a DPS perspective, it's one of the highest single target damage weapons in Warframe right now. You're looking for something for Path of Steel? This is it. Maybe drop the fire rate. Maybe drop the fire rate for more ammo economy, especially considering that in Path of Steel, they don't let you spam energy pizza or ammo pizza or anything of the sort. So you can just drop this one, go with more status chance or even more critical chance, whatever suits your fancy. More punch through. Maybe you got something to clump them all up together, right? With like a Boo-Boo, a Vauban or something, and just shoot through them. More punch through in that case. Now let's work under the assumption that you do have efficient beams, right? Take a look at this one. It's 150% status chance. Shotgun Savvy gave you 90%. It's more than 260-60 mods give you combined when it comes to actual status chance. And only consume ammo when dealing damage. And that's a huge plus if you want to use fire rate on the weapon. So we can go with something like so, renounce vicious spread, renounce the damage, and go with efficient beams like that. This will be a more powerful build. If you guys want to max out the Convectrix, make sure to have efficient beams. Look at it from the trade chat. I'm not really sure how expensive it is because again, you could only get it during Arlo's adventure or something of the sort. Now let's drop the boom. Look at that. Insane, absolutely bloody insane. This weapon is simply crazy like that. And you're consuming ammo right now only when you're hitting something, right? So there's no more wasted ammo whatsoever. Take a look at the slashes. Beautiful, absolutely. Look at that. Wrecked, destroyed. Beautiful, I love it. So this is the kind of build I would recommend. You got plenty of options, play around with it. Again, you don't necessarily need these mods in specific. The Convectrix actually allows for a little bit of wiggle room when it comes to the build. And one last thing which I want to showcase, prime mods without a Riven. A lot of you guys said, hey Laser, not everybody has a Riven, man. Why don't you show prime mods without a Riven? Because a lot more players have prime mods than they have Riven. So there you go. Prime Ravage and Prime Point Blank. Let's see the difference this one will make on the main build. And then we're going to be talking about insane Rivens. Take a look. You see that? Absolutely bloody insane. And you got efficient beams. That means you're going to be consuming ammo only when you touch something. Take a look at that. Prime Point Blank is the one that makes the biggest difference here. So 100%, if you got prime mods, go for them. And if you don't have them, check out Battle. Sometimes he brings prime mods. He used to bring prime mods all the time. Not anymore though. Hashtag sad. Let's talk about Rivens now. Take a look at this one, my friends. I feel like crying every time I see it. Damage, critical chance, multi-shot, and a harmless negative plus weapon recall. This one is just absolutely insane. And yes, it ticks me off that it has 0 rolls. Nobody rolled it. It was like this from the start. Insane. And of course, we got efficient beams, prime ravage, prime point blank, and laser sight on the weapon. And I'm not going to keep you in suspense anymore. I'm just going to show you the results with a Riven such as this one. My friends, Convectrix Rivens. Not all that expensive. Come on, you can get one and get the rolling. Look at that. Beast. I just touch them. I just touch them. I just touch them, they die. I touch you, you die. I touch you, you die. I touch you, you die. You get the point, right? Take a look at the values if you can catch them. They're really, really quick. My friends, it took half a magazine to kill off 8 level 120 corrupted heavy goons. It's insane. When it comes to single target damage, it's very hard right now to beat the Convectrix. It's simply that powerful. And of course, we can take it even further than that with some Warframe buffs. Now, what would you guys prefer? Lady Mirage Prime or perhaps Lord Harrow? I know. How about both? Why not both? Harrow. Now this one, like so. With corrosive projection, of course, as per usual, this is meta when it comes to heavily armored targets. It used to be more powerful, now it's only down to 18%. It's still the most powerful aura when it comes to heavily armored targets. Arcane Avenger, why? Well, right now the Convectrix with laser sight up, which I'm gonna be taking off the weapon, is gonna remain with something like 34% crit chance. Add another 45 and another 200 from Harrow's headshot. So you can definitely still go with Arcane Avenger, and of course the other one will be Arcane Rage R5. Both of these arcanes are farmed from the third Eidolon down on Cetus. This one gives you 180% damage to primary weapons for 24 seconds. It's a 50% chance on headshot. Considering how many hits you do, you're gonna be fine keeping this one up all the time. Or should be, better said. Now, since I'm gonna be getting a whole lot of crit bonus additive after crit from Harrow and that Arcane Avenger, I don't really need laser sight anymore. Instead, I can add some more fire rate, especially considering that I already have efficient beam with shotgun spaz, for example. You can add more status chance to the weapon as well. With shotgun savvy, 90% or modus setup or whatever else tickles your fancy, I'm gonna go with a little bit of fire rate as before. We're gonna be bumping up the level to level 150. Also we're gonna be unpausing the AI so they can hit me and I can get my glorious buffs. Activate Harrow's 4th ability for that critical chance buff, and his 2nd ability will grant you reload speed, which you don't really need, and fire rate as well. Now, considering we also got shotgun spaz on the weapon, that's gonna be absolutely insane. Keep in mind to go for headshots when it comes to Harrow. Okay, so you get that full 200%. And we're gonna go for this one, a slight shot. Easy. I touched it. Did you see the value of the slashes? Absolutely freaking insane, man. So I just gotta make sure I touch every single target once, like so, and I'm done. That's how powerful the Convectrix is right now when it comes to single target damage. Alright, so with Lady Mirage, we're gonna be going again with Corrosive Projection and Arcane Rage, not Precision. Precision is basically kind of the same thing, but only for secondary weapons, and Avenger as before. One more time, the Corrupted Heavy Goons, level 150 this time. We're gonna go like so, Empower, and then Mirage's free ability for an absolutely insane Eclipse buff. Empower one more time, and the best animation in Warframe. Mirage ever so lovely clones. Let's go. I didn't even... How long did that took? If you don't take into account the guy which did not want to stand with his friends and died alone, I think it took a couple of seconds. That's how powerful this weapon is right now. What headshot? No headshot here, but I can't aim for head. Stop that. Stop that. See, I can't aim for head either, so I just like to pepper the whole screen if that's okay with everybody. And that's the slash ticks, essentially killing off the targets. It's not the raw damage per se, it's those fantastic slash ticks. One more time, activate Mirage's 4, well, Empower in this case, and again, her fantastic Eclipse buff. What about the secondary fire? You didn't showcase it. Here you go. In normal gameplay, you wouldn't really use it, but when you're dealing with buffs of this magnitude, you can even use the secondary fire to absolutely annihilate the Corrupted Heavy Goons. And I do believe, my friends, that is pretty much it for today. The Convectrix right now in Warframe is not only one of the most powerful shotguns, but also one of the most powerful single target weapons you can get. And I highly encourage you to build this absolute insane weapon. It's the revenge of the Convectrix. As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And if you got any feedback for me, by all means, drop it in the comment section down below. Also in the comment section down below if you want to suggest any particular type of content, or in case I missed something, because at the end of the day, I'm only human after all. You can also find me on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all the usual places. Until next time, my friends, bye bye.